saying. She is voted top doctor in Arizona over and over and over. How many years is this now, Melody?
6 times in obesity medicine, not in everything. Just I'm
Yes, and
in
that
my
is her
obesity medicine.
specialty. I love it. I love it. Her specialty is in obesity medicine. Her husband, Tony, through this business, she was able to retire him after being a detective for 20 years. I think he retired in 2018. And then 2019, they started a nonprofit that he does a ton of work in and travels all over the place, but just love, love, love her as a doctor. But just her love for helping other people is amazing. And being able to travel the world with her and her family has been an absolute pleasure over the years that we've known Dr. Melody Rodardi. So I will turn it over to you, talking all things activation tonight.
Yay, I'm so excited. I love sharing space with you, Pose. You guys are awesome. And it's been a blessing to become your friends and travel the world as well. And with the mission of helping people in their health. And so tonight, that is definitely what I want to do today is share some key concepts that you may or may not have heard of. I think the buzzword of GLP-1 is definitely something that I think if you're living under a rock, if you haven't heard that, when we talk about some of the other things, you probably will be like, I'm not sure what she might be saying. I promise not to get too sciencey. Those of you who want more science, tune in tomorrow, or we can always have a more dedicated sciencey one. And I'm going to keep it nice and simple tonight and really just share with you my heart. As Sean said, one of my passions is obesity medicine. I've been doing weight loss medicines since really 2008, then really did it full time starting in 2012, and then opened my own practice in 2019 because of wanting to incorporate the whole being again. And weight loss is more than a number on a scale. And health is more than just getting your annual physical at the doctor. And so I'm going to share my screen and I'll talk through this, but I am going to tell you this. When I talk about it being more than a number on a scale, that I'm going to interweave this through it because I'm going to speak from my heart here. Weight is something that is really hard for a lot of people to talk about. And with my specialty, I have become even more protective of my patients and a bigger advocate. And that's what I want you all on here as we talk about GLP-1. I want you to become an advocate for people's health and to also not allow them to feel shame about weight and where they're at in their journey, because all of us are in different parts. And it's incredibly important to do this with care and with love. And I am truly excited for us to get to this information because it can really help somebody in their journey. That's truly my heart. So, what is nutrigenomics? If you know me, I'm going to talk to you about your nutrition because nutrition is literally going to help your body's cells signal what is going on. And it's also going to help genes activate as well as quiet down. I think I might have started it on my second slide. This is my favorite slide. Diet is the most important influencer of the gut. Food can be medicine or it can be poison. So I really want you to think about those things as we move through this because you want to signal good communication throughout your body, and it does matter. And guess what? One meal is not going to ruin it all. But a wrong meal every single day, every day, that is. So if you were with me this weekend, I did have ice cream once. I love ice cream, so you know that. And so we go on all day long with all of this food noise. You might have been not even known that word until this past few years, food noise. And it's constantly thinking about maybe your next meal. Or is this going to be enough food? Or why am I still hungry? We deal with so much food noise, and so many times we're trying to reach for something on the right that's healthy for us, but we sometimes just kind of pick something that's on the left that's unhealthy. Well, it does make a difference, as I was mentioning. because you have this microbiome that starts from your mouth and goes all the way down to your bottom, and it's lined and it has all these microorganisms in there, and it helps you digest your food, absorb your nutrients, help with your immune system. And I like the picture on the right because it's going to give you a good idea of those cells in the intestines and how close it is to your bloodstream, and then how particles can get through those cells and through those tight junctions and into the bloodstream. And so it's either going to have good information to your blood brain barrier and throughout your body, or it's going to cause possibly inflammation or autoimmunity and malabsorption and nutrient deficiency. So this picture I want you to keep in there. So the first picture was food is medicine, or it can be poison. The second is it is really important from mouth to bottom, having all of these cells communicate and absorb the right things and do the right things for your body. And so if we take a single one of those little cells, we will call it the L cell. That is specifically where GLP-1 is being secreted from. So it is a specialty cell, and it secretes peptides like GLP-1 and PYY and others that help us feel full, tells our body what's going on. And you're going to notice there are receptors in our brainstem, in our hypothalamus, in our gut. That's where we have receptors, and our vagus nerve is from our brain all the way to our gut. So when you get those butterflies in your gut and then you feel it in your brain, there's a communication there. And so the biggest thing that we want to know about is, can we trigger a sense of fullness of satiety? Can we have glucose homeostasis? That is really key here, because then we're going to feel that we are able to really live a fuller life, in my opinion, when that food noise is down. So there are ways to increase this naturally, with the type of lifestyle you have: sleep, reduce your stress, eat a better diet, like I was talking about. But let's even get into why you're really here, right? So I'm told you I'm a weight loss physician, and everybody wants to know about synthetic GLPs. Well, guess what? I'm not going to talk bad about them because they've been a game changer for so many people, but they can lead to very unpleasant side effects because of their prolonged mechanism of action. They are synthetic. You have to wait for the half-life of these medications to wear off for those side effects to go down. And unfortunately, we do see them. So as I told you in the beginning that I'm a patient advocate, and I don't want any shame, I will tell you, these have been incredible for some people. But what if we could activate this naturally, more than just having a healthy lifestyle? That doesn't work for just everybody. So you can't tell them to just eat less and exercise more. That is not in us, in the weight loss world. We call that shaming patients. So we want you to either refer to us, who know how to do this, or treat it if you learn how to treat it properly. So other activators are coming out that are natural, but they are at lower ingredients. They're not as efficacious, and there really aren't any clinical studies. And I'm going to go through the clinical studies in just a minute with you. We have a product here today that is all natural, that has been clinically proven to increase GLP-1. And so what if you could take it to make it? That's the key part that we're going to also talk about. You can take things to help your body make things. And so the benefits that we have with it's called Mind Body. They were very brilliant in how they put this together. Mind Body Core are capsules, and Mind Body Enhance is a powder. And when you put the two of them together, you're naturally increasing GLP-1 activation. You are supporting sustainable weight loss and wellness that you can see and feel. You're going to balance your hunger hormones to help with satiety via the gut-brain axis. So I just showed you a picture of how that all puts together. You're going to quiet that food noise. So I'll tell you, the neatest thing that I hear is when people are telling me they're not snacking between meals. They're not snacking after dinner. You would just be amazed when you kind of think about all the things that kind of, when you're keeping a food journal and you're like, oh my gosh, I ate more than breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I actually did have snacks. Well, what if you ended up thinking of not thinking you needed a snack and you weren't needing to write it down, right? That's just an incredible gift to feel full and not feel like you're hungry all the time. And then this is my favorite point here, help maintain blood sugars in a normal healthy range. That's called glucose homeostasis. Really key here. This is a busy slide. I threw it up there for you science geeks up there because this floats my boat. GLP-1 is more than just weight loss. It is on this receptor is so many places in our body, and we are seeing benefits by increasing GLP-1 naturally and in the body. So take a snapshot of this. You can look at it later, but I had to throw it in there because it's my favorite. So again, there's a lot of benefits from activating GLP-1 in our body. So again, you can take a picture of this as well. But let's kind of look through, I actually went through that slide. Let's get down to some of the nitty-gritty stuff here. So we have dual activation. So not only are we increasing GLP-1 through our L cells, activating them, we are indirectly activating GLP-1 by optimizing our gut microbiome as well. So the fibers that are in the MB Enhance are literally helping it indirectly and by helping increase GLP-1 receptor activity. Okay, so we're getting two systems here in one. So the core ingredients in our MB core are these lemon bioflavonoids. You'll probably have heard about this, or maybe chromium, maybe berberine, but there are some others that you might not have heard of, like hesperidin, acacia, matcha. Well, maybe you've heard of matcha, eggplant, yerba mate, and honeysuckle. This blend is patented now, is patent pending, I should say. And then let's look at the ingredients for the MB Enhance. So how many of you think that you are getting enough fiber in during the day? I will tell you, most people are lucky to get over 5 grams of fiber a day. With our Enhance, you're going to be getting over 12 grams of fiber a day. So I will put a little asterisk here. If you are someone who is sensitive and has not started a good fiber-rich diet, you're going to start with 1 to 2 scoops of this first because it has allulose in it. It's sweetened with stevia to give it a little bit of a flavor, light vanilla flavor. But if you're not used to fiber, you need to start this slowly. Just think about what happens when you have too much fiber. I talk about poop all day long with my patients, so I can throw it out there without getting embarrassed talking about it. But there's kombucha, there's MCT oil. These are things in flaxseed we want to support the microbiome. And so they were very careful with what they chose. There's digestive enzymes, there's bacillus strains, so you've got probiotic strains in here. And so you're not having to really pick and choose other things to support your microbiome as you start this system. So the first study, when it was released and finished, we found out this in vitro study that we were increasing GLP-1 production specifically from the L cells by up to 54%. And that's where you can see in these images, the brightness here. And so that was really what got us excited at first. So then when you look further into the system, you're looking now at gene expression. So you're seeing 95% increase in CGC. You're then getting 32% increase in PCSK1. Those of you in science, you know this one is really important because when we talk about what GLP-1 is doing for the liver and glucose, glucagon, that's really key because we're looking at glucose homeostasis here and reducing glucagon release from the liver. And then we're looking at also the receptor gene that you can see on the bottom left, as well as reducing DPP4. You guys, that specifically is made to break down GLP-1. And so when you decrease that expression, you're allowing the GLP-1 to be floating around in the bloodstream longer and getting its work done. So you can see where we are getting excited that we have a natural way of both increasing GLP-1 activation as well. And so here you're seeing the system restoring communication along the gut-brain axis through PPY and PYY. So if you remember the first slide, I showed those out of the L cell. We were able to see this activation through in the cellular response of these neuropeptides. And then I love that you can actually quote this from the human clinical study. We increased GLP-1 by an average of 140%. And so that's just key. Like, wrap your brain around this. Get excited about this. There's total transformation here. So the participants who were in this, it was a 12-week study. So we had the in vitro and we had the in vivo. So there's two different studies. You can go on the science page. You can read all about them in more detail. And so these facts on the bottom are key. 82% felt that they had control of their relationship with their food. And they were starting to feel this within the first week. It wasn't even taking them 4, 5, 6, 8, 12 weeks to finally feel that. They're having a reduction in sugar cravings. They're choosing smaller portions. They're feeling less hungry. They're eating less at their meals. And they're actually being able to choose healthier options because the emotions that are attached to eating are feeling. Remember, there's receptors in the brain. So that emotional feeling that you get is you're able to then feel a little more controlled about that so that you are making adequate decisions in the food that you are choosing. So on average, weight loss was 9 pounds in 8 weeks and up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks. I usually tell people healthy weight loss is about 1 to 2 pounds a week. More than that, you really need to be monitored. I worry about nutrient deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, side effects, muscle loss, you name it. So on average, this was perfect. This is healthy weight loss, 1 to 2 pounds a week. And so we always love clinical befores and afters. I apologize, I could not upload more, but I've got a couple on here for you to kind of see because I think it's important for us to sometimes share pictures. If you get back to the person who invited you to this webinar, we can show you many more pictures. So the Club 55, they are LifeVantage people who are able to qualify and get on this before. They are not 55 years old. The first time I heard Club 55, that's what I was thinking about. There was just 55 participants in here. And we really got to watch them through this journey and ask questions and talk all things weight loss and non-weight loss, because some of us wanted to try this. Like, I'm going to share my story. I wanted to try this because I wanted to see what it felt like. Do I need to lose weight? No, I wasn't looking for that. Do I need to optimize my weight? I'll think about that. Who doesn't want more muscle and being more toned, less visceral fat, better lab numbers, right? But for me, I want the glucose homeostasis. I want to reduce beta cell apoptosis as I get older in my pancreas, all of these things. So I wanted to look at this. And so you ask those people that you know that were in Club 55 that you wouldn't think that, hey, you need to lose weight. Ask them some of their benefits that they were seeing through this by having a better gut brain access. And I will also share this. When I am at these conferences, Michelle talked about that I love going to conferences because I am a constant learner. I noticed that I wasn't snacking. I always take healthy snacks with me because I feel like I am eating, like drinking out of a fire hose when I go to some of these conferences. And then my brain tells me I'm hungry. And so the beautiful part is I've been to 2 conferences now in the past month, and I've been on the trial, and I'm coming home with the same bag of snacks and not hunting down coffee or more Axio. So it's kind of interesting for me to even just feel that way, that when I'm feeling a little bit of stressed, I might go for some food. I've never had, had an issue with food noise, but it quieted the things that can trip me up. So that was just a beautiful thing. So I'm going to switch a little bit because I want you to get a little bit more passionate about some of these activators that we have. LifeVantage is the activating company, biohacking company. And so you might have heard some of us talk about NRF2. Well, guess what? There's a relationship between GLP-1 and NRF2. NRF2 is incredible, and we want to make it to take it when it comes to our antioxidant system. So this is what Protandim NRF2 is. It's ashwagandha, bacopa, milk thistle, green tea, and turmeric. And so we are allowing our body to make our own antioxidants that are more powerful than what you can take by itself, like a vitamin C or eating your blueberries. And so this is an important product, in my opinion, this to add on board when you are on this journey, because so many of us have oxidative stress, and that equals aging. And as we get older, our natural production of antioxidants go down. And so we want to at least turn this system on. Because by doing this, you're reducing oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% with continued use. And then we have an incredible collagen. So we take Healthy Glow Essentials, collagen, and NRF2 to make antioxidants and to make collagen. So our liquid collagen activates, replenishes, and maintains collagen. And if you have heard any of our talks beforehand, you know that this is more than just skin, hair, and nails. Collagen is also important for cells, how that cell is structured. Do you want to be making 4x4s and not toothpicks? So that cell looks great. Just think about why your skin looks better, why those cells look better. That's happening inside of our body as well. And so, as you are on your weight loss journey, so many people want to talk about things that they can do to support their journey. And now there are two products that you can add to help this too. And so that's our Protandim NRF2 and our liquid collagen. And if you know me, you know I could go on, but I am not. I love to share the stage with Mr. Sean Poe on this because we want to show you how to incorporate these into your lives, share them with other people, because you don't need to be the doctor in front of everyone to talk about these. You just have to have a passion to help everybody on their health journey, and knowing that there is something other than a prescription that can be given to help you on that journey. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Sean.
I love that. I love that. Yes, you definitely don't have to be a medical professional. I am living proof of that. I'm the finance guy. Back in 2011, we were introduced to this company by a friend of ours who is a dietitian at the Heart Hospital here in Sioux Falls. And my wife was going through a lot of health challenges that started around 2004. And as great as Western medicine is, there was no answers that we were getting as far as what was going on inside of her body. They could rule out a lot of what it wasn't, but they couldn't tell us what it was. And we saw some of the best doctors in the world, from the Mayo Clinic to the Cleveland Clinic. And so we were on this health journey. And when we got invited to this meeting, it was actually a cardiologist here in town that was doing the meeting. And we were going to the meeting because Michelle's biological father had passed away in his early 40s from heart problems. And so we weren't really thinking that this would be the answer to help her necessarily directly with those things that were going on inside of her body. But the more we started to learn about how activating the body's potential and opening up that pharmacy that's in each one of our bodies, the body's capable of amazing things. The problem is as we age, things that used to work really well just don't work as good as they used to. Um, I was very skeptical about the network marketing side of this. I didn't really understand it, but my background back then, I was in corporate treasury with Citigroup. I managed the cash movement for all of Citi of around $4 billion to $40 billion every single day. The last 3 years that I was with them, I managed the defaulted student loan portfolio, all the collection and litigation activities. So I was gone a lot. And as I got higher up that corporate ladder, the more time I found that I was being asked or told, I guess, to be away from my family. And I honestly, I wasn't the dad I should have been. I wasn't the husband I should have been, because I spent most of the hours of my day getting beaten up in the corporate environment. Um, and so I was kind of looking for a way out. And little did I realize that what we had our hands on was that vehicle. And I know the business side isn't for everybody, but I do know in this economy and what people are struggling with today, if it isn't you, you definitely have friends and family that are going to bed tonight praying for something to change in their life. And what we're finding with this product, you guys, the launch of the GLP-1 product, is people are naturally sharing it with other people already. And that's all that we do is we educate people. We have a team, we have a system in place that makes it easy to share the information. And the before and afters that we've seen out of the Club 55 group is only going to get larger exponentially with the thousands and thousands of people that are going to be receiving the product recently. So I just want to give you an opportunity to kind of understand what we do on this side of being a voice for the products. 80% of our business is customer based. And I love that for the simple fact that if you just see value in integrating these products into your health strategy, go for it. But I do know that there's about 20% of the people that we talk to that do have some interest in sharing it with other people, whether that's for a little bit extra money or it's maybe like me, where I was trying to find a way, a vehicle that could help me get out of the corporate environment. In 2011, when we started, it took us about 2 to 3 months to really understand the ins and outs of this and working with other people that were already involved. But we quickly realized that this had potential. It was hard for my brain to wrap around that for a couple $100 or $1,000, you could have your hands on a multi-million-dollar business. But I'll tell you, if anything, what they had told us at that first meeting was definitely over delivered on in what we've seen over the last almost 14 years now. And I was able to walk away from the corporate environment about 9 months after we started. One of the things that I look for as a business owner is going to be, who is the company? You know, what do they stand for? What are they about? I used to hold my security licenses. I'll share my screen here for a second. And it was important to me knowing that this was a publicly traded company. Back then, we weren't on the NASDAQ. It was on what I refer to as the pink sheets, because it was such a small company when we first got involved, but it has been uplisted to the NASDAQ several years ago. We've actually rung the bell on the NASDAQ several different times. We've sold over $2 billion worth of product now, over 200 million in revenue, and we're completely debt free. So there's complete transparency around the company every 90 days about the financials behind it. And I love that transparency that we have. But I'll tell you this, the market is completely untapped. There's only around 70,000 distributors worldwide. And in network marketing, that's a very, very small number. We've done this all over the world, North America, Europe, over into Australia. And there isn't one marketplace that I've ever set foot in that the average person has any idea about activation. And our GLP-1 product is unique in the marketplace. There's not another company that you're going to find that's going to have the human clinical studies that we have, showing that it can increase GLP-1 by 140% by activating the body's potential. And that's why the science that we had led to this patent pending on the product itself. And that was important to me as a business owner, because I don't just want another product, right? I want something that stands out from the crowd. I want something that stands on its own. But I'm telling you, I have never seen anything like this in business before. We've done a ton of different businesses, online, retail, corporate stuff. I have never seen what's happened since October 11th with anything else that I've been involved with. And I think it's only going to escalate from here. And so if you're thinking in your head, like, I know other people that should be taking these products, and a lot of people that we have as guests, they're already referring back to the person that invited them, like into the different groups that we have, or that they're on here right now. They're inviting other people to hear the information too. And that's realistically all that we do. And if you think about what network marketing is, I like to use the analogy of Sorry. There, thank you, Ron. I like to use the analogy of Amazon. Amazon disrupted consumer behavior. And when Amazon came out, most people weren't used to having products directly shipped to their house. But if you look at the structure of Amazon, all it simply is a bunch of warehouses that ship product direct to the consumer. And that's exactly what we do, except our niche is within the nutraceutical realm and activating the body. That's what we do is we're a voice for the product. We educate people on what it is. They can choose if they want to just be a consumer of the products or a consultant and be a voice like us, but it simply removes the storefront shelves. And back in the day, NRF2 Protandim sat on the shelves of stores like GNC and CVS and Rite Aid, but it had a story to be told that wasn't being told on the shelves of the stores. So back in 2009, they completely removed it from the retail outlets and put it into this distribution method. It's really, really cool because other businesses that we've owned, you have to have tons of inventory, you have to do the invoicing, the taxes. But this is really built around leverage and then community. And I'm telling you, the potential that's involved with this can absolutely be unlimited. It takes hard work and energy, just like anything else. But again, you're working with a team of people that know what they're doing. We have systems and processes in place for you to have success if you want to partner with us. We've got different things online that we can get you introduced to. There's mobile apps, but the training involved, I'm telling you, is world class. Now, I want to talk about timing for a second because when I held my security licenses, one thing that we did as portfolio managers was we looked about timing of information. And we had this theory of investing called the average man theory. And basically what it was if somebody on the street already knows the information, it's too late to act on that information. You have to act on information before the average person knows about it. And then there's also something called this S curve. And the S curve in business is where the early adopters and the innovators are the ones that get into a technology or a change early on. And then as it creates momentum and the average person knows about it, about 80% of the growth that happens with that company is during that momentum phase. And if you think about like the iPhone for a second, how many people realistically had the iPhone 1? I mean, that was brand new technology. A major company was launching that technology, but most people didn't integrate it into their everyday life. Even the iPhone 2, the iPhone 3, that was still in that innovator early adapter phase. But then around the iPhone 4, it went on a rocket ship ride, and almost every single person between like iPhone 4 to iPhone 6 knew about the technology or had been using the technology. Now we're on what, iPhone 16? I mean, I would say most Americans at this point know about that technology and have used it. And acting on that information now is way different than acting on it when we were earlier on in those different versions. But it takes time for technology and information to get out. And we are at the very, very front of this growth curve. I think GLP-1 is out in the marketplace as kind of a buzzword, but we're used to synthetic versions or having to get prescriptions to get them. And now we're talking about the ability to activate the body's potential, the body's pharmacy once again, to unlock what the body was designed to produce already. Again, we stated that human clinical shows it can upregulate that GLP-1 production in the body by 140%. So to me, like the window is wide open, the opportunity is wide open. And I want to show you real quick the average earnings by different ranks in the company. And on the right side of the screen, I just kind of highlighted a couple different areas. But at Senior Consultant 1, the average person at that rank's making around $250 extra a month. And I love that for people that are like, well, I would love to offset the cost of my products, or I'd like to add another product, but I really can't afford to add one more to what I'm already doing. And this would allow somebody to potentially pay for their products month over month over month. And then you look down two more levels at Managing Consultant 1, that's over $1,600 a month. You guys, how many people do you know that an extra $1,600 a month in their pocket changes things? And then you go from down there, like look at Managing Consultant 3, over $7,500 a month. That gives people options in life. Maybe they're not happy. We have lots of people that I talk to, and I was in that situation waking up as a 35-year-old and looking in the mirror and saying, I thought things would be different now. This path that I'm on, I can't imagine being here for another 20, 30 years doing what I'm doing, but I needed something that would replace that income. And that's where we were looking to get into was some of that money that could give me different options on how I was living my life. And then if you look down at those further ranks, 50,000, 80,000, over $100,000 a month, back almost 14 years ago when I started, if I would have seen these numbers, I would have said you're absolutely crazy. There's no way that that would be possible. And I'm telling you, when they come out with our new income disclosure, which should hit sometime in January, those numbers are going to be a lot higher than what you're seeing on the screen because of the activity and the action that's happening right now. And so I would ask you to just really ask yourself, what if? What if the information that you heard tonight is game changing? It's category creating and it's going to disrupt the marketplace. Would you be remiss to not act on that information? And that's where I sat back 13 and a half years ago. And I said to myself, I don't want to be in the position that I find out a year or 2 years from now that I should have acted on that information. We were passionate about the products. We were already sharing it with other people. Why don't I try to understand how this works and find other people already involved that have a roadmap to get me where I want to get? And that's what we did. We put our heads down. We went to work. Our life completely changed. And I'm so proud of the fact that my kids, when I first got involved, were 4 and 6. We were crazy busy with corporate jobs. We had an online business, a lady living with us from Spain that was a teacher at our kids' Spanish immersion school. We were the epitome of no time in our life that we had to add extra things. But what we knew is if we could carve out just a little bit of time each day, 15, 20 minutes, that over the course of time, that consistency could change things. And I know in business that if other people have a roadmap that's been proven to work, if I do the same things that they did, I can generate similar results. And that's what we did. And that's why we work so hard today, is because I want that mom that wants to be at home and raise her kids to be there. I want that dad that maybe was on the road or living out of hotels all the time in airports to be able to have the freedom of choice in their life. And I don't know what else could have come into our lives over the last 14 years that would have impacted literally tens of thousands of people across the world. And it's going to be millions of people across the world. And so again, I want you to ask yourself, what if? What if what we were talking about is even 50% of what we think it's going to be? And I think even our biggest projections right now, it's going to be way past that. And so if you want to get involved with just being a consumer of the products, get back with the person that invited you to hear this information, and they can get you started on GLP-1 right away and any of the other activators that you want. But I'm telling you, don't delay on that decision because the demand has been so high. We are not going to have it very long in stock, and we'll be waiting for more inventory to get into the warehouses. But if you want to lock arms with us and be a voice of the product, here's a couple of the different packs that we have. We have one that's right around 1,000. It's going to come with a lot of the product. We have another one that's right around that price point that comes with all of our different product lines, so you can experience each one of those activating product lines. In the middle there, we call that the executive pack, just under $500. It's going to come with some of our skincare, the True Science Collagen, Fat Burn, Protandim NRF2, and then the GLP-1 product along with Axio. And on the right side, it's going to be the GLP-1 in the premium pack with Protandim NRF2 and collagen. We've got a few other packs as well. But again, just get back with the person that invited you to hear this information and let them know what you're thinking. They can help you get started. They can answer any questions that you have and get you going in the right direction that fits in with your life. I'm not sure why my screen isn't turning off here. Sorry, just 1 second. There we go, screen share. All right. And so really at the end of the day, it comes down to a decision that you want to make. Again, I'm very cognizant that a lot of people that see the information, they just want to integrate it into their health strategy, and that's perfect. But I don't want people to not have the opportunity to know the full picture, the full story, and make that decision for themselves on where it fits into their life. So I want to thank Dr. Melody Rodardi. You are amazing. I learn from you every single time. And I love that we have a new category of product that I can listen to and learn from you because you are a leading expert in this. She serves on our scientific advisory board. Again, she's super involved with their nonprofit and she has her own clinic. So this is a woman that's very, very busy, but she sees the potential of impacting people's lives. And that's what we do more than anything. And we can impact people's lives in a couple of different ways. The first and the most obvious is on the health side of things. The second is locking arms, being a voice, and then on the financial side, and then third, personal development journey. Like we just try to make people around us better versions of themselves, the best version that they can possibly be. So thank you guys so much for your time. Michelle, is there anything else that you want to add?
No, thank you again, everybody. I guess, Dr. Melody, are there any last words that you have?
No, thank you for just the opportunity to share because having this platform, like, I love it. This opportunity is incredible and I love talking about it, not only on the health side, but then listening to Sean because then I get excited knowing that I did something. I'm so proud that this is something that that my husband and I have done as well because it's changing how we raise our children. And I see the beauty of this type of company and business. So it's wonderful.
Beautiful, beautiful. And just like we say, get back to the person that invited you. Start sharing and letting people know. It's shocking. It's beautiful to see how people are noticing impacts in literally day one, day two, day three, and what that's doing for you. I know for me, the brain impacts, and I've also had some other incredible impacts as well outside of that. So just share and know that this is making a difference as all of our other products do. And we are just here, like they said, to bless the world. So let's just go out and make a difference and shine your beautiful light. And thank you again, Dr. Melody and Sean. Incredible. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Blessings. Bye-bye.